Good morning students, welcome. Now, in the subject economics, let's start with the new chapter. The name of that chapter is optimal input combination. First of all, what is input? Input means the ingredients in the production you added in the production, that is called the inputs. Now, first of all, let's see the meaning of optimal input combination. On the page number 91 in your economics book, there is optimal input combination is given. So first, optimal input combination. Optimal input combination is that when production can be made at the minimum cost. When different input combinations are made for production at the minimum cost, it is called the least cost combination. First of all, what is optimal input combination? Optimal input combination is that when production can be made at the minimum cost. As we know, every firm, every owner of the company have limited resources. They cannot make cost, they cannot incur expenses as per their desire, or whatever the resources available to the owner, whatever resources available to the firm, they always try to use that resources in that way that will give them as much as profit from the selling activities. So, what is input combination? Optimal input combination means this is that point in which the production of the company will give the maximum benefit in the minimum cost. Say for example, if you have three inputs, input 1, input 2 and input 3. So you have to make expenses on all the inputs in such a way that all the inputs gives you the as much as and maximum benefits. This is called the optimal input combination. When different input combinations are made for production at the minimum cost, it is called least cost combination. When you make different types of combination of the inputs available to you at the least cost, at the minimum cost you can afford, this is called the least cost combination. Say for example, if you have three inputs A, input B and input C, and you can maximum afford the cost 150 rupees. So you have to make combination in such a way that if you incur 150 rupees on that inputs, on that combination, that will give you the as much as benefits in the market. This is called the least cost combination. The purpose of a firm is to make maximum profit, and therefore it must combine inputs in such a way that it can make production at the minimum cost. What is the purpose of the firm? The purpose of a firm is to make maximum profit, and therefore it must combine input in such a way that it can make production at the minimum cost. As we have seen earlier also, as we have seen in 11th and 12th also, what is the ultimate objective of any firm? The ultimate objective of any firm is to gain maximum profit from selling. This is the ultimately objective of every firm available in the market. There may be some firm which does not work only for the profit, but most of the firm work only for to get maximum profit from the selling activities. So This is known as optimal input combination. Here we shall study optimal input combination with the assumption that production is made with more than two inputs. The first assumption of this theory is there is more than two inputs available to the owner of the firm. Basically, what is input combination or what is optimal input combination? Say for example, if you have three inputs are available and the price of that input is for 3 and 2. The price of input A is 4, the price of input B is 3, and the price of input C is 2. So, to get optimal input combination, you have to use all the mixtures of all the inputs in such a way that these all inputs will give you as much as benefit, and in which point this all the combination will give you the same result, will give you the highest profit when these all inputs cost become same. At that point, that gives you the highest result or the maximum benefit. The second in that given is the method of obtaining optimal input combination. How you can obtain optimal input combination is given here on the page number 91. That is second point is given, that is the method of obtaining obtaining optimal input combination. Input combination that makes production at the minimum cost or optimal or optional input combination can be achieved when marginal productivity of an input and marginal utility of money spent on it are equal. It means when the marginal productivity of any input and the marginal cost of that particular input both become same, in that point you will get the optimal input combination. Here the two things is given to you. The first is the optional input combination can be achieved when marginal productivity of an input, marginal productivity of input. This is first condition, and the second condition is marginal utility of money. Marginal utility of. So when these both become same, in that point you will get the input, optimal input combination. Say for example, if you have 3 units available A, B and C, and you spend here, we will write this over here, A, B and C, you have 3 inputs and you spend rupees 8 on input A and rupees 6 in input B and rupees 4 in unit input C. So, if you want to make optimal input combination, at that time you have to make effort on this thing until both the price will become same. Say for example, in inputs A, the cost of that input is 8 and the cost of input B is 10. So in this case, you have to make effort to increase the input A and you have to make effort to decrease the inputs of B. So after so much effort and after planning, you you increase A from 8 to 9 and you decrease B from 10 to 9. Ultimately, these both become same. So, in this point, you will get the optimal input combination when you have two or more than two in the optimal input combination. Two inputs are not possible, but this is only for your information. Yeah, this is only for your understanding. If you have two inputs are there and there is difference between the inputs, one is 8 and the another is 10. So you have to make effort and you have to take this both up to 9. And now you should not change anything on this combination. This is called the optimal input combination. Thus, in optimal input combination, inputs must be employed in such a manner that marginal productivity of an input and marginal utility of cost are equal. It means the marginal productivity, the productivity you will get from the input that and the marginal utility of cost and the cost you made on that production, made on that input must be same. So for example, further in the example, we will see how they practically can implement it in the business routine. But now, in here, you just need to understand when marginal productivity of that particular input and the marginal productivity of the cost you incur on that input, when this both become same at the point. That point is input combination, optimal input combination for you. In such circumstances, production cost is minimum. When you choose the optimal input combination point, in that point your production cost is minimum. Suppose here the example is given on the page number 9. In the third paragraph of that page, that is, suppose the ratio of marginal productivity and price of input A is more than input B, and till the marginal productivity and price of both the inputs are not equal, the input must be reduced in the quantity, and in its substitution, more inputs of A must be equal. The same example is given. Say for example, there is given the A is more than input B till the marginal productivity and the price of both the inputs are not equal. So say for example, the combination of A is 8, the marginal productivity and the price of that particular input does not give you the exact result which you want. It means not a same for input A and input B. Say for example, input A gives you the result 8 and the input B gives you the result 10. And according to this theory, this is not possible. This is not acceptable. So, which type of effort you should make to complete this theory? So, in this point, in that point, you have to decrease in the inputs of A, and you have to take that input which is same as per the input B. સાવ સામાન્ય રીતે જોવા જઈએ તો A, B અને C જેટલા ઇનપુટોના ઇનપુટનું જે તમારે કોમ્બિનેશન છે કોમ્બિનેશન સરખું કરવાનું છે. એ કોમ્બિનેશન સરખું કરો ને એ જે પોઈન્ટ આવે that point called the optimal input combination. So here the 8 and here is 10. So you have to make effort. તમારે પછી A ને ઘટાડવાનું છે. You will decrease A up to 9 and you will increase you will decrease B up to 9 and you will increase A up to 9. Here it is going on and here it is decreasing into 9. So ultimately A become 9. The combination of input B is also 9. So here you will get the optimal input combination. This is the theory given in this book. More inputs of then only optimal input combination takes place. After this only the optimal input combination takes place. After this, the quantity of inputs employed are not changed. Once you will get this point when both the inputs A and inputs B both become same. After that, you will not change in the quantity of inputs you incur in that particular production. Should not be changed until any next changes happens in the environment of the business. It can be said in the form of following equation that optimal input combination takes place when what is optimal input combination? Here they have given optimal input combination that marginal productivity of A means marginal productivity of A upon price of A must be same as per marginal productivity of A and marginal productivity of price of B. This must be same in marginal productivity of input C and price of input C, and this will continue up to how much inputs available. ઇનશોર્ટ જે તમારે જે છે ને આ રીતના ફોર્મ્યુલાને યુઝ કરો કે જેની અંદર બધા જ તમારા જવાબ સેમ આવે, that same point, that same answer is your optimal input combination. Say for example, if you have any input A, at that time marginal productivity of input A and the price of input, say the combination of that, and the marginal productivity of input B and the price of input B must be same. If this happen, if this point is there, that particular point is marginal. That particular point is optimal input combination for you. This assumption is given. In this analysis, following assumptions are made involved. The first assumption is in factor market, perfect competition prevails. It means in the market there is no oligopoly, there is no monopoly, only perfect competition is prevails. Perfect competition is exists in the market. The second thing is inputs of production are completely dynamic. What is dynamic? Dynamic means to make change. If you can make changes easily, that is called the dynamic. So this is the theory in which you have to make changes over your inputs, because when you don't make change, when you cannot make any changes in your inputs, at that time there is no possibility of increasing and decreasing on the particular combination. So once this combination is not done by you, you will never get the optimal input combination. So the second assumption is you can make changes in the input combination. Say for example, if you have three combinations A, B and C, so as per your desire, you can make changes over the inputs combination of input A, input B and input C. The third assumption is the services of inputs are paid for with prices. These prices do not change, they are constant. This is also one of the most important assumptions in optimal input combination. If you can make changes in anything, first of all you have to make changes, but there should be a same price until you are making production or until you are following that particular theory. Say for example, if you make changes and try to get maximum optimal input combination, and when you try to decrease this thing, and at that time the price of input A not acceptable. This is not in favor in your business organization. So the third assumption of this theory is there should not be change in the input combination. There should not be change in the price of input combination. The fourth is marginal productivity of each input can be determined independently of other inputs. So when you decide the marginal productivity of A, it should not depend on marginal utility of input B. Say for example, if that both the inputs are substitute, if you demand more of input A, ultimately this demand will decrease in the demand of input B. So this is not acceptable. It means if you are making changes in anything, in any inputs, that particular changes should not make any effect on the other inputs. તમે જે એની અંદર કોઈ પણ પ્રકારનો ચેન્જીસ કરો છો, that particular change should not be affect on the input B or on the input C. Now the example is given. Let's see that example. Now in the context of the above mentioned assumption, let us understand the process of optimal input combination with an illustration. Suppose a firm employs A, B and C inputs for production. So to understand this example, we must use the board. So excuse me. There is two things I have given in that. The first is, let us understand the process of optimal input combination with an illustration. Suppose a firm employs A, B and C inputs for production. A, B and C are priced at 6 rupees for and rupees 2 respectively. It means the price of A is 6, price of B is 4 and price of C is 2. Now the units of on these three inputs, total cost of rupees 122 will be spent. Cost 122. So what is this GI? This GI means you have to make combination of these three inputs when all the inputs cost is the same, and on that same cost you will get the 122 answer. This is the theory. So there is table given, units of input A and marginal productivity of A is given. After that the units of, basically if you see that on the page number 93 there is units of input then marginal productivity of A divided by price of A, then marginal productivity of B divided by price of B, and marginal productivity of C divided by price C. This is the example is given. So first of all, when your input is on the you can see if your input is 6, at that time your marginal productivity of input A is 30. So 30 divided by the price of that particular thing. What is the marginal productivity of A? Or marginal productivity of A is given 30 divided by 6. You will get answer 5. 28 divided by 6, because the 28 is the marginal productivity of A. There will be divided the price of A, and you will get 28 divided by 6, the 4.66. After that, the inputs of unit of input A is 8. Then 24 is given. So 24 divided by 6. So here you will get the 4. After that, if you use 9 units of input A, so 9 unit 18 divided by 6, and you will get 18 divided by 6, that is 3. Now, the units of B and marginal productivity of B. So, when you use 8 units of input A, so 8 inputs of unit A, so 24 divided by how many? So, here the price of B is 4, so divided by 4, 24 divided by 4, so you will get 6. After that, when you use 9 unit, this is the unit 11 and 12 if possible. So after 24, and then there is given the marginal productivity of B is 22. So 22 divided by 4, and you will get 5.5. After that, there is given 18. So again 18 divided by 4, so you will get 4.2. After, when you use 11 units of B, the marginal productivity of 11 units of input B is 12. So 12 divided by 4, that is 3. After that, there is given the marginal productivity of unit C. When you use 6 unit, so 20 divided by, here you will write 20 divided by, what is the price of C? That is 2. So here you will get 10. And when you use 12 units of input C, so in the 12 there is given 6, so 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2, so you will get 3. Now you can see when you use 9 units of input A 9 unit, when you use 11 unit of input B, and when you use 12 unit of input C, B now we don't say. So when you use 8 unit of 9 unit of input A, 11 unit of input B, and the third is 12 unit of input C. In that point, in all the time you will get the 3. So this is your input, optimal input combination. Did you get the point? This is the optimal input combination. How this come and how this affect on the business, the explanation of this will be discussed in our next video. Thank you.